The night was quiet, except for the hum of neon lights reflecting off the wet pavement behind an old gas station. A lone female officer stood near her patrol car, radio static filling the silence. She wasn't expecting trouble, but trouble was already watching her. From the dark alley, 3 men stepped out, rough, restless, and looking for power. Their boots scraped the ground as they circled her, like wolves testing a fence. "Out here alone, officer?" One sneered. The others laughed. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley, and tell me where you're watching from. She kept her hand near her holster, calm but steady. "Back off," she warned, voice firm, not loud. But the night wasn't listening. One man grabbed her arm. Another shoved her against the patrol car. Her badge glimmered under the gas station light, a small symbol of authority in a place that had none. The rain began to fall, softly at first, then heavier. It mixed with the smell of gasoline and fear. A passing truck slowed down but didn't stop. People always look away when courage is needed most. She struggled, 1 against 3. Her radio fell into a puddle. A fist hit her shoulder. Pain shot through, but she didn't scream. She just looked at them, eyes filled with the kind of calm that frightens men who mistake cruelty for strength. Then, the sound. A deep growl of engines. From the road beyond the station, a convoy of motorcycles rolled in, headlights cutting through the rain like blades. Leather jackets, chrome glints, the insignia that carried both fear and respect, Hell's Angels. The thugs froze. The bikes circled once, engines roaring low like thunder building beneath the earth. The biggest rider stepped off, his boots sinking into the mud. His beard was streaked with gray, his jacket heavy with patches and years. He didn't shout. Didn't even raise his hand. He just looked at the 3 men, the kind of look that makes the air go still. "You boys lost?" His voice was quiet, but it carried weight. One of the thugs stammered something about it being a misunderstanding. Another tried to walk away, but the riders had already surrounded them. No one laid a hand on anyone. They didn't need to. Sometimes power doesn't come from fists. It comes from presence. The leader glanced at the officer. "You all right, ma'am?" She nodded, catching her breath. Her hat had fallen. Mud streaked her uniform, but her composure never cracked. One of the bikers picked up her radio, wiped it clean with his gloved hand, and placed it gently on her car hood. A small act, but in that moment, it meant everything. The 3 men backed away, stumbling, desperate to vanish into the darkness that had once given them courage. As their footsteps faded, the rain began to ease. The bikers didn't chase. They just stood there, engines idling, forming a silent wall between her and the night. The officer looked around. Her lips trembled, but she held them steady. She'd faced worse, maybe, but not like this. Not alone. And not rescued by men the world often called outlaws. She straightened her uniform, wiped her face, and nodded toward the leader. "Thank you," he smiled faintly. "Don't thank me. We don't like cowards." Then, as suddenly as they came, the riders turned their bikes around. Engines roared back to life, headlights flaring against the damp asphalt. Within moments, they were gone, swallowed by the fog and the road. Only silence remained, and the soft drip of rain from the gas station roof. The officer stood still for a while, watching the red taillights fade into the mist. Behind her, the gas pump light flickered, on, off, on again, like a heartbeat. She picked up her hat, brushed the dirt off, and whispered under her breath, "Justice comes in many jackets." Back in her car, she sat for a long time before turning the key. No report could capture what happened. No radio call could explain how strangers who lived outside the law had defended it better than most who claimed to uphold it. Sometimes good and bad aren't uniforms. They're choices. She looked once more at the road, half expecting the rumble of engines again. But it was only the rain, tapping softly on her windshield. When she finally drove off, the night seemed quieter, as if the world had witnessed something sacred, a moment when lines blurred, and humanity won. Later, the security footage would circulate online. People would argue in the comments, "They're criminals," some said. "They saved her," others replied. But the camera didn't lie. It captured one truth. that courage and compassion can come from the unlikeliest of places, and somewhere out there, under the roar of another night ride, a grizzled man in a leather jacket would glance at the stars and remember the look in that officer's eyes. Calm, brave human, he'd mutter to himself. Maybe the world ain't all bad after all. If this story moved you, comment, and share your Kindness Valley thoughts below. And subscribe for more untold stories. Sometimes angels don't wear wings. They ride on two wheels and appear when the world needs to remember what honor really means.